Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a wood grain tumbler today. We just base painted with a matte white and taped off our bottom. And the inks we're going to use today are Tim Holtz, Latte, Caramel, Mushroom, and Espresso. I've got a little cup of 91% alcohol, and I've got my trusty wood grain brush here, which is just a Wet n Wild brush. For my wood grains, I do a single line of color at a time, and I just go back and forth with the brush. Sometimes I stop and do little sweeps with the color, and sometimes I do full on top to bottom with the color. Kind of just depends on how I'm feeling at that particular time. There's no rhyme or reason to this. You just want a lot of texture and a lot of difference in every piece of this that you kind of develop over time. Once I'm done with that first color, I rinse off my brush a little bit and I move on to the next color. For this one, I'm just going to do little sweeps of color, and this is going to give me like a faux knot. I don't know that I've ever made a true knot in a wood grain tumbler and it looked good, but this kind of just helps me have a little bit of difference, and this adds to the texture that it is going to end up looking like. I don't want full sweeps of color on this. I'm just doing little dots here and there, and if after we get finished we want to go back and add some more of this, that's the beauty of alcohol inks. It's going to do whatever we want it to do. Now for this color, I'm going to end up putting it straight on my brush because I did not like the way it looked on the tumbler. So this is the mushroom, and it almost kind of looks like mud. I wasn't super excited about it, but it does add a little something extra to the cup. But I end up just putting a couple of dots on my brush and kind of flaring it in. And then I'm going to move on to the final color. With this mushroom color, I do go in and kind of tilt my brush different ways, and that's going to give us a little bit of a different way it lays down on the tumbler, if that makes sense. Sometimes I do the brush flat and it's going to give us a bigger piece, and then sometimes I turn the brush on its side and it gives us little slivers. So Espresso is the final color I'm going to use, and this is going to be another one that I'm just going to use dots because this color will take over, but it's the exact same thing. I'm going to go in, and wherever I see these white places that the first color did not cover, I'm going to go in and kind of flare this in, kind of feather it in as best I can to not make it look uniform, but make it look like it belongs. Now this is where I'm going to go in with one of those first colors that I used and just add a little bit more. But as you can see where I'm putting it, it is kind of not erasing the other ink that's there, but it is kind of pushing it out of the way. And this is just going to go in and add a little bit more of that depth that we're looking for in our wood grains. Now I do let this dry overnight. This is not sealed, and this is a decal that I got off Creative Fabrica, and this is just on permanent black vinyl. I'm going to twist and turn my cup to see where I want this decal to go. I'm going to line it up as I stand it up, and then I will lay it down to actually lay the decal down. And once I get that decal laid down, I'm going to go in, and if there's any of those straight lines that are wonky, I will kind of put those back how they need to go, get everything lined up nice, and then I'm going to epoxy this tumbler until smooth. And here we go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.